Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear sisters. Strange things do happen in this world. The message reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? My brother, when you start to date someone, please don't just look at the wealth that the father or the family has. You need to make your own proper research before rushing into getting married to any guy that you will be in love with. This is my own story, my brother. Me and my boyfriend, we met here in South Africa. We were going at the same church. So this church, it is a Zimbabwean church, but a Pentecostal one. That is where we met. I was studying at UNISA, and I then started to go to this church because I just wanted to be around people that also came from Zim. But from the very first day that I got to this Pentecostal church, what was done to me, I didn't like it at all, because they made me to lie. Since I am someone who is quite young, but I had my first child when I was in Form 4. But after that, my parents, they said that I should continue with my education. When I first went to that church, there is a small card which is given to you where you fill up all of your details. So the usher, the woman who took me to the side, who helped me to fill up that small card, like the visitor's card that you have to fill up, so that later on they can actually introduce you to the whole church. When she took me to the side, she then asked me a lot of questions, and I was honest with her that when I was still in high school, I made a mistake, and then I was dating this other guy whom I was in the same class with. So this guy, he then got me pregnant. And after I had gotten pregnant, my parents said, you are still very young. You cannot actually go and get married to this guy. But later on, when you have finished your education, that is when we will allow you to get married. This guy, he then got married to one of my friends. My parents then said that, you see, this is what we tried to show you, that you are still very young for marriage. You need to focus on your education. With the pain that I felt in my heart, I started to focus a lot on my education, and then I passed my high school. I then went and I wrote my exams and I passed. That was when my parents said that they wanted me to come and study in South Africa. So I was then accepted at UNISA, where I was studying, when I met this guy. This woman, when I told her this story, she then said, we need to remove this part where you say that you got pregnant when you were still in high school. And I was like, what is this church, or what is going on here? Because you need to be honest, especially when you are in church. You do not have to lie. So where is this coming from? Why are they telling me that I need to lie, that I am still like a woman? And I could not understand when she told me that I had to lie. I was not supposed to reveal the fact that I had actually fallen pregnant when I was in high school. Anyway, since I was still new at this church, I didn't want to embarrass her or to embarrass everyone at church. Later on, when the service was going on, that was when we were told that it was time for the visitors to be greeted. So each and everyone will be given a microphone, and then the usher will read everything that you would have written on your small card. My brother, to my surprise, when the mic was then given to the usher, who was standing right next to me, she lied, my brother, and she said that here stands a woman that has never been with a man. Here stands a woman who is at university, an intelligent woman staying here in South Africa alone, yet she has managed to keep herself pure. She is a virgin. And everyone in church, they started to clap their hands. I got so ashamed. I wanted to run away from that church, because this was nothing but a lie. I had a child. I had almost been married before, but this woman just acted as if I had never known a man before. Anyway, I just agreed and I said, indeed, I'm still a woman who is pure. And I was then told that I was supposed to remain behind after church because of the youth service. When I was at the youth service, there was this other guy who approached me, who told me that one of the church elders had said that I should come to his car. So I went and I spoke with that woman who was said to be the church elder. As I was speaking with that woman, she then told me that she actually wanted me to get married to her son. So that is how I got involved with my husband. All of these things, they were done here in South Africa. Even my parents, they said that, are you not rushing? Why don't you finish your education? But you know that when your boyfriend comes from a family that has a lot of money, people will talk, but they will just keep quiet the moment that they will see that your boyfriend comes from a family where there is a lot of money. So since everything was done here in South Africa, me and him, we had never gotten the chance to get to know each other. I only knew their home that they have here in South Africa, but my boyfriend had told me that they have a mansion that is there in Zim, and this mansion, no one stays in that mansion at all. So this was like a surprise to me, because how can you just build a mansion in Zim and you just leave it there, you just abandon it? You mean like you do not have any relatives at all that can stay at your mansion? So I got married to my husband here in South Africa, and we then were told that for our honeymoon we were supposed to go to Zim for our honeymoon. And I was like, no, I have my own place where I want to go to instead of returning back to Zim. But my boyfriend said this is what his parents wanted, and we had to respect the wishes of his parents, since his parents, they were the ones that had footed the bill for the wedding. The venue alone, my brother, it costed us 150,000 rands at the venue where we had our wedding. So I just respected them for everything that they had done to us, my brother. Then we were taken to Zim, and we were taken to that mansion of theirs. And when we were inside that mansion, I could not even fall asleep. I felt as if there were spiders that kept on crawling all over my body. But as for my husband, when I would try to tell him that I feel as if there is something that is crawling all over my skin, feeling as if there are some spiders that are crawling all over my body, my husband kept on telling me that it was just my imagination. We spent about 2 weeks whilst we were back home in Zim. In those 2 weeks, I kept on having a dream, and in this dream, I will be pregnant. But when it will be time for me to go and give birth, I will see my mother-in-law and my father-in-law. They would come into that maternity ward where I will be. Then my father-in-law, you will be the one who will take that responsibility of helping me to give birth, which was something that I could not understand. When we returned back from our honeymoon in Zim, upon coming back, that was when I discovered that I was pregnant. But the way that I discovered that I was pregnant, it was through my mother-in-law. One day as we were talking, she just got up from the couch where she was sitting, and she came and she was like holding my tummy, and she said, "Oh, so you are already pregnant. You guys are very fast." And I was really shocked. So with everything that she had told me, when I was driving back to the place where me and my husband are staying currently, I then went to the pharmacy and I bought a preg test, and I then tested myself, and indeed I saw the 2 lines representing that I was pregnant. So it was quite a surprise, my brother. Later on, as the pregnancy was progressing, those dreams, they kept on coming back. So they had booked me at this private hospital where I was supposed to go and give birth. They paid a lot just to give birth at that private clinic. It costed them 45,000 rands, the medication and staying at that hospital. But my brother, with the money that they paid for me, I lost this child. And the night before I had gone into labor, I had that same dream. I saw my mother-in-law and my father-in-law. They came to me and they told me that I had to give them my child. So I started to fight with them, and I said, no, I do not want with my child. No, do not take my child. But they defeated me, and they took my child by force. Then saw my father-in-law, as he was holding this glass bottle, he then pushed my baby inside that glass bottle until the baby had suffocated. He left me all alone in that maternity ward. And the next day, my father-in-law and my mother-in-law, they didn't go to work. Both of them, they are professors at a certain university here in South Africa. So they didn't go to work the next day. They came to the place where I am staying with my husband early in the morning, as if they were waiting for my labor pains to begin. And when I started to get really sick, and when I told my mother-in-law that my waters had broken, I saw that there was this joy that was written all over her face. So I thought that she is ready to meet her own grandson, since we had gone to the scan, and the scan had revealed the fact that I was carrying a baby boy. So I thought that they were just excited to meet the new member of the family. But this was not the case. When I was taken into the maternity ward, my mother-in-law said something that was quite funny. She said, even if you lose this child, know that we love you. Who will ever say that to his own daughter-in-law at that time of need? When you know that your daughter-in-law is in pain, then you tell her that even if you lose this child, know that we will always love you. I went into the maternity ward. I was well taken care of, but still I lost the baby, Brother Nashi. Just like in my dreams, my father-in-law and my mother-in-law, they were there when I lost my child. This thing, it happened last year, and now my husband is saying, let us try to have another child again, and I am scared of everything that happened last year. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sisters, and that was the translation of that message, hoping that you understood the confession. Strange things do happen in this world.